Hello and welcome to session 32 of Primordial Harmony, a retelling of the elemental evil story from the Dungeons & Dragons multiverse. We're back after holidays. I'm your host and courteous DM, and tonight I'm joined by...
I am Nyx. I play Illyria. She's a ranger with her panther pet, Valora.
I am Senna, and I play Delia, the gnome wizard.
I am Kitties, and I play the rockstar bard gnome named...
Hey, name's Miles. I play Tadias Ozanoff. I'm a Asimar Seeker.
And I, Zafin. I play Zachary Vitalis, Fire Genasi Shovel Knight, and two-time champion in foot race.
Well earned. It's well earned. I'll eat that.
Just so you know, Justin, I didn't hear the S in race to give you feedback on push to talk. So, when we last left the Excavators, after making certain their sand castles and the archaeologists were safe from the horrid chulls, our heroes continued south toward Mortraeth. Upon arrival, it was clear that something wasn't right. Townsfolk with worried expressions going about their business with haste. Arriving at the Crossed Swords, a tavern that Katie Koger had talked up on the way to town and had designated as their accommodations that evening. Above the entrance to the establishment, they saw not the prop wooden swords that Katie spoke of, but shark-tooth longswords, the calling card of the Cult of the Crushing Wave. Entering the tavern, the party meets Alanya, the owner of the Crossed Swords, a capable young woman that Katie sang praises for. Like most of the town, she too seemed out of sorts, but before the party could get to the bottom of it, a group of water cultists bearing swords themselves entered the tavern, demanding protection money. Alanya's heart swells with the courage at the presence of our heroes and told the cultists off. Predictably, this led to a brawl that the Excavators won handedly. Tadias, Hum, and Delia brought one of the cultists, one that they'd spared, up the stairs on the second floor for questioning in their typical method. Screams of anguish rang through the building, so par for the course that Zachariel and Illyria made a drinking game out of it. The cultist cracked his spirits and fingers, and divulged the location of the leader in charge, and directed the party to where they were, a cave within the cliff face below the town. With that, Hum ended him, and stole his shadow, with a small portion of his memories. After a little discussion, the party made their way down the stairs that were carved into the cliff face above the surface of the ocean. Hum, disguised as the cultist, scouted ahead with Tadias' familiar Udarnik. They learned what the party was up against, seemingly a water cult priest. But, as they confronted the priest, a couple of fathomers oozed out from the walls, and when the priest realized he was outmatched, summoned a full-fledged water elemental, one corrupted, much like the elementals the party fought at Clear Currents, but this one was much larger. During the fight, a fathomer that seemed to value his life over the cause begged to trade information for mercy, speaking of another cult group that had apparently taken over another tavern in Mortraeth. In that moment, the party accepted. However, after the fight was over, and the information given, the party, offering no quarter for cultists, slayed him. We returned to that same cave, a pool of once elemental on the rock floor, most of the party soaked, certainly Tadias, at least, feeling the ache of bruises incurred. So.
Yeah, it's not a proper session unless I get beat up.
Yeah. So you guys are in that cave at the moment still. What would you like to do?
Check the bodies first.
All right. So let me bring you back to that map. So yeah, pool of water elemental. Let's draw that for fun. On the floor. So who's checking what body?
I'll check this one.
I'm actually going to go touch my friend Tadias with Cure Wounds.
Thanks, hon.
Alright, so, on them... in a... in a, oh, you did a high level, too. As, Hum walks over to Tadias and lays her hand upon his shoulder and, emits healing energy into him. Delia searches through the pockets of this cultist, and she finds in a collection of different coinages at least 10 gold worth of coins.
Guys, this cultist had a lot of money on him. Oh, hand it
Anything
over to
else?
Hum. I didn't see anything else. Is there anything else? Or just point?
On his person, just clothes and that coinage and iconography of the cult, but nothing else of note.
Yeah, nothing else.
You find
Well,
similar...
I'll
yeah.
check the other one too.
So you, Zachariel, you're standing over the Fathomer that you ended up dispatching, even though they gave you information. And looking at his body, you notice something surprising. You've seen these guys before, these humans, or otherwise humanoid, not genasi, that are colored this sickly greenish turquoise blue. You notice that you've slayed a couple of them, and you know that you've seen their corpses, like whatever, they're just still sickly blue. But you notice this one, the color is draining away, and it's giving it's draining away into what seems to be normal skin tone, although pale from being dead. But the blue just seems to drain away.
It would appear that this one's conversion was not complete.
They were recruiting as far as I understood it.
So you're searching through... Are you searching through everybody? Or are you just doing one at a time, specifically? Among them, you find... Among the priest and the other Fathomer, you find another 4 gold worth of assorted coins. And the priest's focus, which is like this staff that has a bunch of seaweed and clamshells on it, and mussels here and there, and barnacles.
Is the seaweed like gross and slimy?
Oh yeah, it's disgusting.
Gross.
What do you think's making his color go? Hum goes over next to Zachariel and kicks this guy that's changing back to pink.
Can I go over and make like a check on him, like Arcana or medicine or something?
Yes. Go ahead and do an Arcana check.
Arc.
So, from your exposure to these guys before, and what you know about certain arcane and occult practices, Tadias, you know that the color is sort of a result of a granting of power. And this individual seems to be... At the last moment, it seems to have lost that something this person did before they died. Whatever power they received, it was revoked for one reason or another.
Looks like whatever he sold his person or body to didn't like him failing.
You notice the other one you look over, the other one is still blue. Turquoise.
Maybe because he talked.
He
I believe it was because he was turning tail. I'm not a religious man myself, but if I was following a god, I would suspect if I broke that bond that they would be angry, to say the least.
He should have turned yellow.
Well, he turned dead, so that's all that really matters.
Nothing else of note among their corpses.
Now,
Jedias.
yes, Zachary.
Perhaps we should return to the bar, check on Katie, and plan our next assault.
Is she alright? I'm sure she had to have heard some of the things upstairs.
Yes, I believe it was quite hard not to hear it, but some things need to be done. Sure, I'm sure she'll understand. She's a smart girl.
But yes, let's go and check on Mr. and we will discuss what we need to do.
We can blame it on me. It's okay.
I don't sell my friends out for nothing, huh?
It's not selling out. It's more of taking of responsibility.
I think I was responsible for most of the screaming. You're responsible for the puddles.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope you clean that up.
Still have to clean up the gory mess you've made.
We should probably go clean.
I
Yes,
thought we put all their bodies into barrels.
we did, but there's still blood everywhere, I assume.
Yeah, we left puddles.
When you strike a creature lethally, it leaks. A lot.
In more ways than one.
Yes. Okay, so you
Usually
guys...
Mine are just burnt to a crisp, so I'm not used to all the blood.
So, what are you guys doing? You leaving this place?
I'm for leaving.
I begin walking towards
We're
the
leaving.
Okay, so you guys make your way out of the cave, and you make your way back into, or against the cliff face, and there's wind from the sea, and it, tussles your hair. It kind of, like, you look at Zachariel and you see the flame hair he has just sort of moving in the direction of the wind. You guys make your way back up to the town proper, and let me actually, make your way back up to the town proper, and when you get to the top, at first glance, doesn't seem like there's. It seems like the day's been progressing as it normally would in a town like this. You don't see many people about, but it is getting to be the late afternoon at this point. Some people are, going about errands, but it doesn't seem like there's any more commotion that's happened. And as you make your way back to the bar, the same sort of uneasiness is around, but it's a little different. You're not sure if it's lesser or if it's just new strangers in town. When you get back to the bar, I have a map for this, so I might as well take you there. Get back to the bar. Where those tokens are is just blood. There's a big old mess. So when you get there, you actually see Katie's associates kind of sitting at a table that's not surrounded by blood. And they all just look... You guys already put their bodies away, right? I remember that.
Yeah, they're in barrels.
Okay, they're in barrels. So they're a little... They're all not both. they're all bemused and also a little frightened of what's going on. The way shield that you were traveling with, Etburn, thank you. Etburn just kind of like, he stands up when you walk in. Also, Katie and Katie is on this end of the bar. You guys are like down at the front, and she's talking with Alanya, and they turn and they both greet you with like welcome back kind of looks. Both of them are still kind of like, oh shit, about this whole thing. Edburn walks up to Zachriel, puts his hand on Zachriel's shoulder and says, I can't believe I missed all that action.
Well, I can't believe you missed the water room until we just fought.
What? Damn it! He just looks like he's upset that he missed that action. Okay. Well, tell me about it later.
Looks amused, and she goes to what's her face and says, I just need a mop and a bucket.
And Alanya looks to like the floor and just the smears of blood that are kind of soaking into the wood, and she nods and she says, yeah, that'd be helpful. And she just kind of quickly absconds to the back. She grabs a mop and pail, and she places it next to the bar.
Picks it up and starts mopping the floor, trying to get all the blood up.
How big is the bucket?
Standard, man, I have no sense of size. 10-liter bucket.
Do you need help with that,
One mop. I'm good. Just goes back to scrubbing.
I'm gonna check on Katie. Just gonna come up and say, hey, you alright?
She has this sort of... Make an insight check.
Okay.
Rolling hot tonight.
Yeah.
You see just a flash of, like, oh, some shit. Like, she kind of, like, cringes a little bit. She gives you, like, a, oh my god, what is happening kind of look. But it's just there for a second. And you rolled really high. And it was just, like, it was just a flash. But then she's all smiles again, and she says, I'm fine. I think it's a little messy in here, but, you know, you'll clean it up, and we'll spend the night here, and we'll be off in the morning.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure you are all right. I can understand that this is taken very quickly.
She says...
But your friend will be safe now.
She says, I'm sure of it. Whatever those thugs were, I think you took good care of them.
I wish they were just thugs. It's a lot more complicated, unfortunately. But we'll head off in the morning. We'll get you there safely.
And she says, thank you.
I'm going to help them scrub up. I know the upstairs needs something as well. I turn over to the bar lady. Is there any other tools I can use to clean up the upstairs as well?
She says, oh, I can get you another bucket and rags.
That would be wonderful, thank you.
Okay, so you guys are going to focus on cleaning. Is anyone else going to do anything else?
I'm gonna complain about the smell of the dead bodies in the barrel. Yeah, what are we guys gonna do with these barrels, guys?
Alanya kind of looks like pleadingly at her or at Illyria, and then like, I thought you said you would take care of them somehow.
Illyria, when we're done, let's roll these out and throw them into the ocean.
Ooh, sounds good to me.
I think it would be of greater insult if we, a little bit more work, but buried them in land.
Ooh, that sounds fun. We could use a shovel.
Well, these cultists, they love the ocean, so what better torment than in the afterlife for them to be locked in land?
Right. No. Okay.
Landlocked it
Anybody
is.
got a shovel?
I don't even know anybody who owns a shovel. Do you, Illyria?
Maybe we can go buy one from one of the shops.
I bet you they have a good shovel there.
I feel like my shovel is face palming.
I was about to say, yeah, you get like this. You just get this flash of like, the same sort of feeling you get when oh no. When Floriana rolls her eyes at you, Zachariel, when you do something she obviously doesn't approve of, they're just kind of, ugh. That's what you sense for a moment from the shovel.
Well, if it's a two-way street, the shovel also senses that from me.
Hey, Zachariel, do you know anybody with a shovel?
No.
That's funny. Well, what's this? And I go and touch the shovel.
Oh, this is a weapon of destruction.
So you can't dig dirt with it.
Why would he dig dirt with his weapon of destruction?
I can make Earth move.
That's what a shovel does. Moves the dirt.
Alright, I'll go bury the bodies.
Okay, is Zachariel gonna do that while everyone else is sort of cleaning up?
Yeah, I mean, he'll do that. It'll take him a little while to move all the barrels out. And, I don't want to do it in town.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll go outside of town. I'm not sure. Not like overly far away or anything, just outside of the town.
Just how many barrels was there?
6 dudes, let's say 3 barrels. And you fit 2 in each. Mangled
Do you
corpses.
need help rolling those barrels, Zach?
Sure, I was just gonna carry them, but...
Hey, Katie, have you ever seen him use his shovel? It's pretty awesome.
Oh, Katie. Didn't he use it at the beach?
I wasn't at the beach.
No, I didn't. I didn't make a sandcastle because I thought it would be cheating if I did it.
Got it. She says, well, I know you used it as a weapon, but what else? I mean, she looks at Hum and she says, I can tell you're implying something more. What else does it do than just regular digging?
As an archaeologist, you should go watch him use the shovel. It's amazing.
Okay. She gives Hum a look and just kind of moves along with Zachariel and Illyria and Valora. Okay, so it's no real chore. I mean, it's a chore, but it's no real effort to move these barrels out of town. You find a patch of dirt that's not the rock that most of the town is situated on. And some people kind of give you get a couple glances as you're rolling along these barrels, but they're just barrels, you know.
Yeah, nothing to see here.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to see here. They're just barrels. We're just gonna bury some barrels. We're making kimchi.
Ooh, the worst tasting kimchi ever.
If we don't know about mangoes, I doubt we know about kimchi.
No, you don't know about kimchi. Maybe like you're fermenting something for an alcoholic beverage, but, you know.
Ah,
There you go. So, you get to a patch. Katie looks expectantly at the shovel.
I make it look like I'm gonna go dig the shovel into the earth and just wave it over it and sink.
She gasps, or you pull out earth according to the spell. Okay. Her jaw just kind of like opens a bit. She gets a smile on her face and she says, "Oh, mold earth, of course. That's useful that it's put into a tool like that. One of my colleagues can cast the spell too. It is useful."
It has some other ones too. I'm not very magically inclined, but I believe it can make a tremor. It can make a hand come up and hold on to things, and I believe a wall of sand.
That's a powerful item.
It also speaks to me. Well, doesn't speak. It more like sends emotions.
She says this. When there's more time, when we're both in fourth stride, I'd like to study it some more, if with your permission, of course.
Sure, it's fine. I can tell you it really enjoys killing cultists.
She pulls out a small notebook and she starts writing notes. And as you guys make your way back to, after doing this deed, after putting these barrels on the ground, you make your way back to the bar, the Cross Swords, and she's still writing notes. And just as you enter, she just kind of like puts the pen back in the notebook, puts it in her pocket. And at this point, the rest of the party is done cleaning because it took a little bit to get out there.
Looks good, guys.
I look up at Katie and I say, "We're seeing, yeah?"
She says, "It's useful for sure." And she points to one of her colleagues, who notices her pointing at him, and she says, "Wanar over there, he can cast Mold Earth too." And this gentleman, who until now hasn't really, you haven't really spoken to, he just kind of like smiles a bit and he nods. He seems to be perusing through some textbook.
Very useful.
So
Yes, well, I believe there's another tavern in town. Not to say that we don't like staying here, but I need to go pay someone a beat.
when Alanya hears you say that, she says, "Oh, the Groaning Stone? I haven't gotten out much. Why? What's there? Aside from the similar ware."
You know the lovely individuals that were here causing you trouble?
She just immediately frowns. Her face looks downcast, and she says, "You mean there's more of them there? Doing the same thing?"
We're not sure what we overheard, but
She just gets like, her brows furrow, and she just says, she like the word kill is starting to exit her mouth, but she kind of like draws away from that, and she says, "Kick their ass."
We'll take care of them.
She just gives a curt nod, puts her hand on the bar. She straightens up a little bit, trying to sort of get her sort of tavern owner vibe back, so to speak.
Melania, what's for dinner tonight?
She says, "Well, I'm a little low tonight. I have some leftover dried fish, not the stinky kind, the kind that actually tastes good, and some old bread, as in day old, not moldy.
Well, let's go take care of these cultists, and then maybe we can come back and see what we can do with some dried fish and some day old bread. I look over at Zachariel.
Oh, yes.
Tadias, at this point, it's been about an hour. You've finished cleaning upstairs. If that's what you've been up to.
Oh yeah, I finished that. I came back down, just sat down.
Okay.
Over here.
So what do you guys do?
I stand up.
Anybody up from kicking some ass?
You hear Alanya giggle.
You know I am.
Is everyone well rested?
Well enough.
Well, enough is enough.
Cleaning with rags and scrubbing floors does not a short rest get.
Well, let's go.
Okay.
We need to be off in the morning. Let's do this. And then I'm going to head out there.
Alright, give me a sec.
Hum toddles after him.
And then... So you guys head over to this... Alanya directs you on where to go. It's pretty simple to get there. You can hear the wind. So approaching this inn, it is another 2-story affair. You look up and above the door, sort of signifying like the name of this place. Or actually, no, not signifying the name of this place. You look up, and the place is called the Groaning Stone. But you look up and sort of affixed to the signpost above the door is a Windvane. North, south, east, west kind of deal. You find yourself in front of.
What does it look like?
It's really plain. It's got an arrow, and below the arrow that can swing on an axis is a north, south, east, west. Actually, any one of you looking at the Windvane can roll an intelligence check.
Give me 1 second, and I just kind of popped out. It was freezing on me.
No problem. Anyone who rolls above a 15, actually anybody who rolls above a 11 can tell that the north, south, east, west affixed thing is backwards. Like it's not oriented correctly.
So that's all of us, right?
Say again?
So that's all of us, right?
Pretty much.
All the 3 people that rolled?
Pretty much anyone who has an intelligence of 10 or more can tell that this thing is not affixed correctly. But the Windvane does move with the wind.
You think it started that way?
I doubt it. I'm sure it's been tampered with.
Well, Zachariel, you seem the most interested. After you.
Oh, important note. So, before you guys left the Cross-Swords, Alanya mentioned the name of the person who owns this tavern. She just kind of offhandedly mentions, like, oh, I hope Keith's okay. I don't know him that well, and some of my customers would kind of speak about how he was kind of a dick, but I hope he's all right. All right, that's it. So, back to the present. Do you all enter?
All right.
Absolutely. Let's see how much of a dick he is.
So, you still hear the wind outside. The walls, the wooden walls are not that thick. And it just sort of dampens the wind a little bit. Not like the cross swords that sort of blocked it out entirely. When you enter, you see 7 people in an otherwise empty tavern. One is behind the bar, doing what looks like to be meditating on a bar stool, though as soon as you enter, he slips to the ground and stands alert. Among the tables, these 2 long tables that are sort of centerpiece in this structure, among the tables, 6 of them are wearing dark leather armor with masked cowls, and one in particular wears a much more ornate helm and seems to be speaking with the other 5. They look in your direction as you enter, and the one with the ornate helm says, "Yes, do you need something?"
Are there any, like, identifying cultist marks on them?
From where you are standing in the doorway, you do not see any such iconography.
Hum walks in a little bit further and she says, "Nah, we're just looking for some food and drink. We've been trying."
He nods to the gentleman in the ornate helm, nods to another one of the people who look like this person looks like he's definitely taking orders from him. He hops off of a bar stool that was at the table, and he starts to walk over to next to the gentleman behind the bar, says a few words to him, and then walks back. And then the gentleman behind the bar walks over to what you can kind of see, a door behind the bar. He gives a few sharp knocks, and then stands back. The gentleman with the ornate helm says, "You're travelers, are you travelers, you say?"
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Well, why don't you take a seat anywhere you like. We're here to spread the sacred word of the Eye of the Cyclone."
Sure is windy out tonight.
It is, but it's a lovely breeze.
The ocean's churning. Have you looked at it?
Just this morning, yes, it didn't seem all that rough to me, but we're pretty high up here.
Well, the crushing wave is churning with blood.
When you say that, he gets, you see all of the individuals among the tables just sort of give each other looks. The gentleman with the ornate helm, he has a pair of goggles, but then he's not wearing them. They're like on his forehead, and you can see them like turn because he's raised an eyebrow. And he says, "Are they?"
So are you the owner of this fine establishment?
He says, "Keith sold us ownership of the tavern. It seemed to suit him."
Yeah? When did he do that?
Couple 10 days ago.
So where is Keith?
He says, "Oh, well," he kind of looks to the bar, and the gentleman behind the bar is up next to the door. The door opens, and you can see a stout gentleman sort of peeking through, holding a tray. The individual who was behind the bar, we'll call him the Meditator for now, because he was meditating, kind of takes the tray, and it doesn't take too much of a perceptive person to see that he kind of like takes the tray. It looks like it's full of, it has drinks on it, has flagons. He takes it and he shuts the door quickly, sort of pushing the gentleman back in.
That phrase you said. Something about a cyclone?
Yes, it's our philosophy.
Something similar to the Divine Mountain?
And sort of narrows his brow a little bit, and he says, "We do not speak of such things."
Well, there's a monastery with a lot of dead cultists. They won't be speaking either.
So, Keith, you were really interested in selling the place, huh?
Keith isn't there.
I thought he was meditating.
Well,
they shoved him back in the room.
meditator doesn't respond when you say that. They all kind of give you like weird looks, like, who are you talking to? Then they all kind of look at the door that just opened and closed.
What happened to our refreshments?
The ornate helm guy, kind of tilts his head. The one of them sort of picks up a tray from the bar, sort of takes it over, and puts it on one of the long tables that they're sitting at. And you're about the whole party is about 20 feet away from these long tables. Among you, there's a couple of round tables. Put it on the edge of the long table, and the ornate helm guy says, "Why don't you come take a seat and speak with us?"
What do you think, Zach? Should we take a seat with them?
I'm gonna walk right up next to the guy with the ornate helmet. I'm gonna put my foot up on a stool.
Okay, so as you approach, you have to walk sort of. He's sitting in between the long tables, and they're actually 10 feet apart. So it's pretty easy to make your way through these bar stools that are sort of pulled out. But as you pass one of the other people that are sitting in the long tables, and as you pass, you notice that this person is very skinny, like emaciated skinny, but it doesn't seem to be bothering him. And when you get to the ornate helm guy, you notice that he's also very gaunt, very thin, and he starts to stand up as you approach. You put your foot on a stool, and then
What are you all, vegetarians? You're all quite small.
says
Does
that
the cyclone not allow you to eat?
says the pleasures wrought by food are but a distraction to inner peace. That is our philosophy.
I see. Does your philosophy also include stealing from people who cannot defend themselves? Forcing people to join your...
So, everyone around you kind of tenses up as you say that. The ornate helm guy looks over to the gentleman behind the bar, and in a moment he just kind of gives him this sort of nod, and he stands ready, and they all start to like. At this point, they're all drawing weapons. Everyone can see it. What do you do? I just want to know if I'm going to roll
I guess the
initiative or not.
time for talk is over, and I pull Suni out.
All right, roll initiative.
Where are our tokens?
Oh, yes. Haha. I have to actually take you to the map. Yeah. Let me make sure that it is working. Okay. You can zoom out. Alright.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. Music, music, music. Okay. Did everybody roll? Okay. So, Illyria, you get to act first. You notice that the person that's behind the bar draws out this really long but bent wooden shaft, it looks like, at a glance. What do you do?
I take my bow and I'm gonna shoot at him.
Okay. He's going to have half cover because he's halfway behind the bar.
Doesn't she have sharpshooter?
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Shoot him in the face.
Get him.
That's a hit. Alright.
I'm gonna shoot at him again.
Okay. That... Wait, let me check something. That hits. Roll damage. And he is going to do something. You notice that he brings up his hand that has a bracer on it. Actually, let me roll this real quick. Yeah, you notice that he brings up a hand with a bracer on it, and you see the arrow strike. The first one strikes his shoulder, and then as you let fly the other one, it slams into his wrist instead, just sort of barely scratching the surface. Let me... Math. Okay. Cool. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. It is his turn. He stares daggers at Illyria, and he draws up this weapon, and he is going to throw it at you. And as he... Well, first let me make the roll. Ooh. He misses. And so you notice that he throws his weapon, and it spins in the air, and it has a sort of tornado-like effect. You can see the wind just sort of churning around it. He throws it a little wide, and it kind of goes over your head enough to where you can duck, and it returns to his hand. That's his turn. This cultist jumps over the table and goes to attack Zachriel. And is going to try to jab him with a dagger. 20 to hit.
That hits.
For 5 piercing. Delia, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to cast Shatter, and like carve out Zachriel, have it like emit from him.
Cool. What's the radius for Shatter?
10-foot radius.
Solid. So you can affect all those guys. You're not going to affect this guy, though. Is that alright?
That's okay.
Alright, so they need to make con saves. 1, 2. Oh my god. I have to turn that off. It's asking for what kind of roll, and I want to query advantage. How dare you? Okay. Okay, so they both fail. And Zachariel, you notice that the loud ringing sound, they put their hands up, and they both crumble. I shouldn't have deleted their tokens. Oh well. And then
I'll do Blade Ward.
wait, hold on. The Ornate Helm guy needs to roll. He does not succeed. Okay. So you're doing Blade Ward?
Yeah.
Alright.
And then that's it.
Cool. Okay. Hum, it is your turn.
Hum's going to take a step forward. And she is going to shoot at this guy at the end of the table here.
Which guy? Okay.
That guy.
Unfortunately, that is a miss.
And that's her turn.
Okay. The Ornate Helm guy reveals himself to be a priest as he casts a spell. He is going to... Where'd he go? He is going to draw out his hands and this wind starts to sort of pick up. Oh no. Yeah. And it sort of blows against Zachariel and Tadias and Delia, and you just kind of feel this force press against you. He casts his gust of wind. So when you start your turn, you're going to need to make a strength save. And it'll be rough terrain in the direction of the wind. Alright, that's his turn. This one moves over to here, and he draws a dagger. He finishes drawing his dagger, and he flings it at Hum, and you see it goes faster than it would normally. It seems to be being pushed by a small gust of wind. So he's gonna slash. But that property doesn't matter, as he rolls an 8 and an 8. So it skitters to the floor as he whiffs it. Next one is going to jump up on the table and, sort of using the direction of the wind, is going to hurl their dagger at Zachariel. 11 to hit. A little better, but he misses. This one is going to also sort of stand up here and attempt to slash at Zachariel. And by slash, I mean stab with a throwing knife. 17?
Miss.
Miss as it strikes your shield. Okay. Tadias, it is your turn. You need to make a strength saving throw.
Alright.
Alright, you save as this wind batters against you.
So I got the wind blowing in my face. It's like, oh, I can do. And I'm gonna dash out of the way and throw a dagger as I jump off of this table.
Alright.
Just at this guy. And I can probably get within range so I don't have disadvantage. Reserve. Button. I will do the improvise with that. That's
Okie
my
doke.
last one.
That is a hit. Alright. Describe how a deft dagger throw slays this guy.
Probably just right into the, chest and watch him fall down into the table.
Yep. He
But
just
we're not
collapses.
done yet.
All right.
More where that came from. We're gonna grab one of the hand axes and we're gonna crack this boy. 5, 10, 20, 20. So I think he's in my second rank. I'll do it.
Let's see. He is within range, but you are lower than he is. And Zachariel... and the wind, too. So the wind's going to give you disadvantage.
Got him.
Doesn't matter. You somehow use the wind to your advantage, and you chuck the hand axe, and it lands in his skull, and he just crumples.
I guess bonus action will do another attack against this lad with disadvantage.
All right.
With the other hand axe.
And yet, that is a hit, as it just slices through his armor. And you deal just enough damage to kill him.
Do a little bit of a spin, and as all of them twirl back into my belt, I'm going to look at the guy at the bar.
Alright. Zachariel, it is your turn.
Strength save, right?
Yep. Alright. You save. You feel the wind batter against you, but you hold your ground.
Alright, I am going to step through the wind undeterred by his foolish...
Looks a little...
Take some swings at him.
Alright. He looks a little like, oh shit, as you manage to not get pushed back.
But first, I'm gonna try to knock him prone.
Yes. Alright. He tries to sort of dodge your shield bash, but fails and falls prone.
So I just kind of like force myself through the wind and smack him in the stomach with the shield as hard as I can.
Alright. Okay. So, you connect, but as you swing down at him, he sort of makes this gesture, and you feel a little extra force that shouldn't be there between Suni and his body. But you hit. Roll your attack. 10 bludgeoning, okay? Again, you feel the same force, but you still manage to pierce through it. Alright. And he looks hurt right now, and he's shocked.
Does he need to do concentration for gust of wind?
He does. Thank you. He does not succeed. I was kind of hoping Delia would have to fall over.
I was not.
You notice that bar stools are sort of strewn about now. But yeah, the gust of wind is gone.
That's it for me.
Alright, Illyria, it's your turn.
I'm gonna try shooting at him again.
Alright. Illyria, he notices you line up, and he drops prone behind the bar. He has total cover.
Okay, I'm gonna switch my target to the one in front of Zachariel.
Like, motherfucker! That's what I assume Illyria would be like, as he drops prone behind the bar.
This guy's also prone, so you're disadvantaged.
Well, it wouldn't hit anyway. You have another attack, though. Roll again, because you have disadvantage, unfortunately. Alright, that is a hit. I'm gonna say, like, you... If this kills, you probably... Well, roll the damage. Alright, so, Zachariel, you notice the arrow, like, sort of bounces off the floor, and, I don't know what artery it is, but it's the one artery that's, like, behind your heel, and it just bleeds like crazy if you cut it. You just see, like, this pool of blood start to form. He is dying within the next second, but, as his final breath, he cries out, he says, "Ashwick!" It's pretty loud, too. Anything else, Illyria?
Yeah, I'm gonna tip this table over and kind of take cover behind it.
Alright. Let me draw that. Just so that I'm super clear about your cover. That's a good table. Alright. Hurricane goes next. Stands up, jumps onto the bar, sees that Zachariel has fallen his priestly leader, and winds his hand back with that strange weapon and throws it at him. And we'll find out if it hits. 21 to hit.
It's
It's just slams into you. You need to roll a con save.
I shouldn't have advantage on that.
Well, you save no matter what. So you feel it sort of just rings in your ears as this thunderous boom just sort of encircles your body as it strikes you. You take 5 bludgeoning damage and 10 thunder damage. The implement falls to your feet. And
You say thunder?
yeah, I said thunder.
Am I supposed to have disadvantage on that for wearing heavy armor?
No.
Oh.
I think you're confusing Shocking Grasp with thunder damage somehow. Maybe.
I don't know.
So drops down to the floor and sort of looks around and just sets his eyes on Zachariel as he is the closest target, and it doesn't seem like things are going well. Delia.
Well, I'm gonna see that guy that attacked Zachariel, and I'm gonna send some magic missiles at him.
Alright. Okay. Your magic missiles end him as he's struck with these bolts of arcane energy all at once, and it just turns off his body, basically, and he slumps to the ground.
Well,
I want to go check that guy out for that weapon.
Okay, so you walk over to him and you find that the weapon is not on him. And Zachariel, you look at your feet and you see this strange implement, this piece of wood that is bent.
The hell is this?
I don't know, but it hurt.
Do you pick it up, Tobias?
Sure. I reach down and grab it.
So you saw that this thing, it had a tornado effect as it flew through the air and returned to his hand the first time. But as you touch it now, you can tell that whatever magical properties this had, it doesn't have it anymore. It seems perfectly mundane.
Is there any check I can make about where the origins of this weapon would be? Because I don't think I've seen it.
Roll history.
My bad.
So this implement, it's not too hard to sort of place this thing. You know from some of your readings, some cultures use this device. Actually, now I need to look up something.
Boomerang, right?
Why did they use them?
That is a question, right?
Is it just is it actually just a toy, or is it? Yeah, okay. So some cultures use this device for hunting.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't exactly certain why it was used for hunting, but you know that with a proper throw, this implement can actually return to you. Magical properties or no. However, it seems that since it struck Zachariel, it didn't have the momentum to return, or the magic.
I'd like to search this priest-looking guy. Not for anything that he has on him. More, I'm looking for a tattoo, like a mark of whatever cult.
So, yes. So, as you sort of look over his belongings, it's pretty simple to find now that you're not in the heat of combat or tense social encounter. You do see a symbol.
I'll be right back.
Hey, Jedias, break out your symbol book.
I pop out book, writing implement for my cartography kit. Do we have a new one, or is it
Hold on.
a familiar friend?
is the door the They got the food from... Is it locked?
Hold on. Give me a second. That's what I thought. Okay. The symbol upon him is this.
Is that in my book? It doesn't look familiar.
It might be.
It does to me. It looks like the mark of those people that we have saved, that were in the cart going north when we were up near the Feather Spire.
So, before that conversation can happen, and as Hum and Delia are walking over to the door, and as Zachriel and Tadiah see this symbol, you look up. You kind of like something starts to like smell, and it smells like this sort of like it chokes you a little bit. It's like this really smoky, burning meat smell. And you look up because it kind of like you're just looking around, and your attention is drawn to the ceiling end. Out of the boards made of wood, you see coarse-looking gray smoke billowing down. It sinks down to atop a table. And it coalesces into a person. Human-looking man. Sort of snarls. He looks around, and everyone that is sort of looking at him sees that he's sort of just snarling at the group. Smoke and ash seems to just pour off of his form. And, in fact, even as close as you are, it's hard to discern detail. He looks at the corpses of the cultists that you just fell, and he says, "Huh, interesting. Well, that's the way it goes, weaklings." And he just sort of meets each of your eyes, and he says, "But now I have to kill you." Roll initiative.
As he's doing his little monologue, I just take the teeth of Suni's spade and sink it into the...
Cool. Let me take that
That's my book.
down. Let me set up music. And I can refer to this NPC by his name. I'm so happy. Let's see here.
He looks like an edgelord.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you said that. Alright. So, he needs to roll initiative. Ooh, he rolled high. Is Nick still BRB?
Yes.
Okay. Well.
You want to take a break while we wait?
Sure. Sorry about that, little blue balling.
We going for 5, or how long do we do it?
I feel like she'll be back in any minute, but if I say that she'll be back in any minute, she'll actually take 5 minutes. It's 7:30, let's take 5. Not 30, 7:13, let's take 5.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Alright. It's rolled. I'm going to kick off that stuff. And I'm going to cue the music. Oh, you need to roll initiative, Illyria.
Oh, I have to roll it again?
Yes, because we left initiative, you did some stuff, and now it's initiative. Alright. Sort. Okay. Music. Alright, so, Hum, you notice right after he says, "I'm gonna have to kill ya," you react first. What do you do?
I'm going to viciously mock him.
Alright. Let's make a whiz save.
And I'm going to say, "Huh, there's 5 of us and 1 of you. Looks like you'll be the only one dying."
So you do that, and he takes that damage, and you see his eyes flare, or his nose flare a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell, but like you can see his eyes widen a little bit. And oops, he actually flies over here. And I need to make sure I have something right. Oops. Okay. He kind of like gives a look at you, Hum, and then sort of floats over here, and then Tadias, he does something that you innately recognize. You see his eyes, or where his eyes are, just sort of turn into pools of black, and you see these dark, smoky wings just sprout from his back. And I need Zachriel, Tadias, and Illyria to make me whiz saves. Alright. So, Zachriel, Tadias, save. Illyria, you do not. You are frightened until the end of your next turn. So that was an action. Alright. So he does that, and then he sort of moves over to here in view of you all in front of Zachriel. And that's his turn. Delia.
Okay, I'm gonna move over here. Is the bar taller than I am?
Yes. But there's a stool.
Okay, I'm gonna hop up onto the stool and send some magic missiles at him.
Alright.
And then I'm gonna get off of the stool behind the bar.
Okay. So you deal 9 damage to him. Okay. Illyria, you are frightened. This means
I'm probably gonna go hide behind the bar.
Okay, so you just scramble away. Okay. Scramble over the bar, hop over.
And I guess I'm gonna... Can I try?
You can. You just have disadvantage.
I can, okay. Okay.
That is a miss, as it goes wide.
Okay, I'm gonna take a breather and try again.
That unfortunately also goes wide. You can't seem to get a bead on him. The sort of visage, the sudden horrifying visage you saw, and his strange, hazy cover makes it hard to line up a good shot. At the end of your turn, Zachriel, at the end of your turn, period, Zachriel, I need you to make a con save. As he sort of puts his hand out, and this inky, nasty smoke just sprays in your face, and it enters your lungs. You definitely failed that save. So you're going to take 15 poison damage. It is now Tadias' turn.
Don't like this guy. I'm gonna jump up on here and I'm gonna say hi. Let's get a Rezier.
Okay, you have disadvantage. Sorry to neuter that crit.
Easy whatever. Yeah.
It still hits. Alright. For 8 piercing. Okay.
And do I know what's causing the disadvantage, or just have it?
You find it hard to line up where to strike in with Rezier. You're able to sort of catch a moment, but his form sort of shifts through this haze.
Well, let's do it again.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
16 is just enough to hit. Okay.
And now I'm gonna exploit that opening, and I'm gonna go for third one.
That is a hit.
And then I get to add one of these bad boys.
Alright, math, 12. Okay. Alright.
And then I'm gonna like sneak in right behind him.
So you're off the bar.
Yeah, just kind of hop down. I hop in the stab and hop down.
Okay.
That'd be my turn.
Alright. Zachriel.
Alright, I'm gonna try and sweep his legs. with the
Okay.
shield.
Go ahead and make that. Okay. Alright. So, you kind of prone him, but he seems to be agile enough, like you knock him, and he kind of floats in air, and he kind of takes like a centerfold position and just kind of gives you a mocking look.
So he's not prone.
He's not prone. He has hover.
Okay. Alright. Alright. I was more so doing that to see if I could even find purchase.
For sure.
Alright, well, I will attack him.
Okay. You have disadvantage.
I do.
Get +2 to the flanking.
Yes. That's a miss. That's just enough to hit.
Alright, I'm gonna make that a goading attack.
Okay.
Like,
So roll the damage. Okay, so that much.
oh my god, 19.
So as you strike in, his body, his like hard body, like you find purchase for a second, and then the shovel just slides right through as he turns into this incorporeal smoke. But you do find a little bit of purchase, but not as much as you were hoping for. He then that instead, okay, and then yeah, okay. Alright, that's his turn. Hum. Or anything else? I'm sorry, Zachriel.
So does it like do I insight from that I didn't deal as much damage as
Yes, you
normal?
do. Yes, you do.
Even with a magical weapon?
Yep.
Alright.
You didn't see the smoke thing that I just described happen when Tadias attacked him.
Okay.
It was a reaction. Also, the goading attack succeeded, and his attention is centered on you. Hum, it is your turn.
Hum runs out from behind the bar and she's gonna shoot with a crossbow.
That is a miss.
And she's gonna stomp her foot and she's out.
I'm sorry, Hum. Alright. On his turn, Ashwick is going to cast a spell. He is going to... Yeah. So, Tadias and Zachriel He sort of brings his arms out, and you sort of see like this smoke rise from the floor, and you can feel it sort of grab onto you. I need both of you to make strength saves.
Ooh. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Alright. Zachriel, you save. Tadias, you don't. Tadias, you take... I need to do some math.
Oh, there's math.
There's math! And then... Okay, so Zachriel, you take... 16 necrotic damage. And Tadias, you're gonna take 27 necrotic damage.
I will take half of that because I'm an awesome.
Yeah. And you also can't take reactions.
Ooh, okay.
And then, as a bonus action, he points his finger here in this general location, and he is going to let's see. Yeah, Delia and Illyria, you guys will need to make me saves at the beginning of your next turns, of a Constitution kind. He then is going to finish his turn by flying over here and up a bit. That is a hit. Alright. Anything else to that hit?
No.
Okay.
Tadias can take an attack of opportunity too, right?
No, he can't.
No, I cannot. I failed my saving throw, so I don't have my reaction.
Oh, monster.
I know, he's bad. He's very mean.
Cool, I was right. Alright. This billowing cloud of smoke just sort of erupts around you. So that's his turn. Delia. I need to... There we go. Wow. You save. Good job.
Thank God. Is this like poison or what is it?
This is a special stinking cloud.
Yeah. Okay, can I hop over the bar, like if I jump onto the stool and then...
Yeah.
Like out?
It's
Okay.
gonna be like rough terrain, but yeah.
So I can at least get over the bar over here. And I am going to send a firebolt at him.
Okay. This is with disadvantage. Unfortunately. So that misses. And you
Okay.
actually strike the wall behind him and you see a small fire start on the wall because it is wood. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Alright. Illyria, make a con save, please. You unfortunately do not save, and you have to spend your action hacking and coughing. By the way, what's Valora doing?
I was gonna ask you if I'm like, I can't command or do anything, can I?
If you're hacking and coughing, no. I'm gonna have to say no, because you're just retching and... But, I wanted to ask on your other turn, did you want to, like, move anywhere?
Maybe closer to the corner.
Okay, I just wanted to, like, if you're asking her to, like, take cover or anything. Okay.
No, I was gonna attack.
Oh, okay. She can certainly make it, if you want her to do that.
But you said I can't command her to attack.
Not this turn, yes. Okay,
No.
got it. Sorry, Illyria. Tadias, you sort of break free from the tendrils. I think. Wait a minute, actually.
There's 10.
The smoky tendrils. Oh no, that's it. Okay. You're pretty much free of them. They sort of dissipate. What do you do?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna tackle the pool. So 5, 10, 15. I'm gonna just take a stool while I'm running up, and I'm gonna break it on this fucking noggin.
All right.
Improvise. I'm still disadvantaged, right?
Yes.
All right, so that's gonna be 12. So that misses.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to swing it again, crack.
That's a hit.
Wow.
Crack it across the face. Ah!
Then as a bonus action, I'm gonna grab it.
Okay. You. Okay.
I rolled this.
You are gonna roll with disadvantage.
Well, either way.
So that is gonna be. You do not find purchase as he rolls a 20.
Damn. So yeah, smack, and then I just kind of reach into his little smokiness while wheezing.
You getting up close to him, you can just find you can see his expression through the haze, and he looks surprised and fearful.
You need a shower, man.
Zachriel.
All right. I'm gonna run up to him, and I'm gonna take a couple swings at him.
That is a miss.
All right. I seeing the error of my ways, I will use a little bit more of my.
Looks around him. It swings through his smoke.
That's all I actually, bonus action, I'll use second one.
Alright. Hum. Make a con save.
Oh, is this concentration in the bottom right?
Oh, yes, let me make that. Thank you for reminding me. I will never not be appreciative of that. He saves.
Alright, cool.
Hum, you do not. You are coughing as this stinky smoke enters your lungs. Nice roll.
Hell yeah.
Alright. On his turn, actually after Hum's turn, he raises his hand, and Zachariel, I need you to make me a con save. Alright. He just sprays this really thick and nasty smoke in your face, and you can't help but draw it into your lungs. And you take 14 poison damage. On his turn, he just sort of looks around at this. He sees everyone just sort of coughing, but he looks down, and you kind of you can see through the haze that he's banged up pretty good. He says, "Fuck this!" And you watch as he turns into more smoke.
Even gaseous, would you say?
No, I'd say this is as if the smoke is walking on the wind.
That's it.
And starts to just, in a stream of smoke, it just starts to slip away from you. You both can take an attack of opportunity. That's a miss.
I guess I'll use Brazier, because... There's 11. It's still disadvantage, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna miss.
And that's a perfect ending. As he sort of just out from the wall. And after the and right as he leaves the wall, the stinking cloud dissipates.
That was horrible.
Are we out of initiative?
Yes.
Okay, first things first, I'm gonna try and use Ray of Frost to control that fire that I set.
Oh yeah.
That's important.
It's simple enough. It's simple enough to do. You just kind of like, because the place like is on the coast, so it's not like it's dry. It's dry, but it's not like desert dry. So it doesn't really spread that fast. You shoot some cold like around it, and you contain it easily, and it just kind of leaves a scorch mark.
I mean, I'm gonna run outside to see if I can see where that smoke is going.
All right. So you look up. The sun is sort of it's on the decline right now, as it is late afternoon. You kind of have to squint a little bit, but the path of the light from the sun to your eyes is cut off a little bit, and you can see this smoke billowing up into the air, and it heads west.
Man, that dude farted loud. It was horrible.
I think he was like me.
No, you're white. You're good.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Well then.
Break time. Let's take 30 seconds to appreciate that unfortunate utterance.
All right.
Jesus.
Y'all are mean.
That was funny as hell. Okay. All right. Bring it in. We're gonna. Now, you know what? I want you to play that straight. By the way,
Delete
like,
the VOD.
no, we're good. I want you to play that straight because this isn't like, like those kind of, that sort of
Yeah, I understand where you're getting at.
Yeah, that's sort of like
the Black Man
that.
thing.
Yeah, that's sort of. Well, no. Well, I mean, sort of, but also like the, like color skin. Like that's not a thing in this particular fiction. So play it straight.
I am maybe a different god, but he grew the wings. He did something.
Your eyes do not turn into pools of black. They turn into light.
We need to go.
I feel like whoever that boy was, his father didn't give him enough hug.
Do you
I
want to go
agree.
find him and hug him?
No, I feel like I need to go hug my daughter.
Agreed. I think.
Anyway, he's heading west. I don't know what's west, but he's heading there.
Directly west of here is lots of plains, mountains, and then the other side of the mountains, which is the river, and then sort of northwest is the forest.
Is that also where we're heading for the...
Yeah, I was about to ask. The bog is northwest, correct?
Yes, it is. It is sort of northwest of your position.
I mean, not immediately the same direction, but sort of on the way.
Sort of. I mean, from Zachariel could really only see a little bit because he kind of went into the sun. So you can tell the exact direction he went. And when the dust sort of settles and the smoke starts to like clear out, door that you'd seen them open before opens, and a gentleman, meek-looking, stout gentleman, kind of walks out and says, "Are they gone?"
They just point at the center of the room where all the bodies are.
Who are you?
My name's Keith.
Can I insight check if his name is really Keith?
You absolutely can. I'm surprised you didn't insight check the priest when he said that they bought the place.
Yeah, I knew that.
We just automatically assumed it
I
was.
roll with disadvantage. That's a 10.
Well, Zachariel, it's not hard to read this gentleman. he doesn't seem to have any need to lie. Zachariah, you can tell he's being genuine.
Pleasure to meet you, Keith. I hope you didn't actually sell the place.
No, they threatened me.
Well, they're not as threatening anymore. They're kind of bleeding on your floor.
He looks down.
Alana will be glad to hear that you're okay.
That's... Thank you? It seems like he didn't expect to hear that name. But otherwise, he seems to be thankful.
So Keith...
He looks down at the... Well, wait, hold on. He looks down at the blood-covered stone floor, and it's just... His eyes just kind of like... Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
Like
it'll clean up a lot easier than the wooden floor of the other tavern.
He says, you know, that's one thing... One reason I had stone floors. It's a lot easier to clean up the boot... You know what, yeah, if one of you could clean the place up, that would be...
Oh, sure. Kill your hostage, your people holding you hostages, and then clean your floors. I see.
Well, I mean, you did make the mess.
Well, you wouldn't have a tavern if we didn't come.
Oh, Zachariel, don't give him such a hard time.
You didn't give Alana a hard time, did you?
I wanted to. Look, all I'm saying is, if I owned a tavern, I would paint the floors red, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
He looks thoughtful at that, actually, and kind of like, that's not a bad idea.
Zachary, if you owned a tavern, it would always have red floors, regardless of whether you painted it or not. Anyway, Keith, I pull Mr. Helmet guy kind of over and slap him on the table. Now, we took out this one, but there is one that looks fancier than him that came in here. Looked like a billowing cloud, smelled like rancid meat.
Yes.
Do you know his name?
Yes, they called him Ashwick.
Ashwick. Do you know if they mentioned if they came from somewhere, another city, town, village, somewhere west perhaps?
He says, well, I didn't really... They don't let me be privy to their conversations. When I said that I didn't want to dress up in those cowls or serve the, what was it, the cyclone or something, they sort of kept me in the kitchen.
Do you have any barrels in that kitchen?
A couple.
Are they empty?
Well, one of them has water and the other's empty. I think we'll empty out the water tonight for sure. Looking at the blood on the floor.
Alright, well, do you mind if I go get those barrels?
He, like, looks at the bodies and then... Yeah, he looks at the bodies and then he looks to you. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. He says... Did you see where he came from, Ashwick? I know that he can do the whole smoke thing. Did you see what part of the ceiling he came out of?
I'll just walk over here and point up.
And then he walks out from the bar, and he goes up the stairs.
Hum follows him.
Okay. You follow him up there. I don't have a second floor map, but it's just rooms and such. You follow him into a room that looks like it's above where he bellowed out from, and he sees you follow him, and he says, "They took something that belonged to me. I want to make sure I get it back." And he opens the door, and he goes in there, and he starts to rifle through, and he says, like, you see him, like, there's a few sparse belongings in there, a few cult-related items. There's like a thing that makes you know those things that in Catholic Church that with the incense and they like shake it on the stick.
Canter?
Yeah, it's one of those and it has the sort of engraved on it is the symbol that's on their bodies, or on their persons. And you see him sort of rifle around, and he says, "I found it!" He pulls out 2 things, one of which he doesn't, he just kind of looks at it, he's like, whatever. And he kind of tosses it to the bottom, and the other thing he has, and I'll explain what both are, but he holds up a necklace with a gem on it, and he says, "This belonged to my wife." Taking it back, and he just kind of puts it in his pocket. And the other thing that dropped to the ground, that he sort of discarded, it is, it looks like, and you recognize it immediately, being a bard, it is a pair of chimes. The kind that are like 2 thin rods of metal connected by a cord.
I just pick them up and put them in my pocket.
You pick them up, and you can tell, since that is the function of these sorts of items in this world, that there's something magical about them.
I'm gonna bring these to Tadias. He'll tell me what they are.
What do you have there?
Did you follow? You're still upstairs. Do you go downstairs? Does Hum go downstairs?
Yeah, I'm just bringing them down to Tadias.
Okay.
Hey Tadias, look at these chimes I just found.
I'm looking over whatever mugs aren't flipped over and just finishing them off. Look, yeah, sure.
You freaking bar vulture. Perfect. You know what, Tadias? These mugs are nothing but water. And in fact, the ones that they're about to serve you were just water.
Disgraceful, all of them. Alright, put the thing on the table.
You put the chimes on the table.
I'm gonna take a looky and cast a little spell.
Alright.
I
So...
haven't used any shields.
So, during this minute, is anyone doing anything?
I'm gonna try and move the bodies into a more organized position to put them in the barrel.
Okay.
Just feng shui them a little bit.
Oh, and I need to make a correction. These chimes, they are not metal. They are 2 crystal rods on a silver cord. So, sorry, I interrupted.
Thanks, Tadias.
Pretty. We'll find out after a minute.
Can you describe for me how Tadias casts Identify? Like, flavor it up for me?
So, he got the pearl, if I remember correctly. The owl feather, I'm curious always how it works, so I kind of imagine that he puts, like, the pearl next to the thing, like, or in contact with the thing, he kind of waves the feather around a little bit. That's how I would think it in my head a little bit.
Okay.
But because this is just temporary and I know what I want to do in level about it, I think he's kind of like just like closing his eyes and sort of Abe from like, you know, what's it called? Hellboy, like, you know, kind of waving his hand just in front of it a little bit.
Okay. Is anyone else doing anything, or just kind of getting stuff ready to dispose these bodies?
Just help cleaning up.
Okay. I'll have to make art for this later. Okay. Alright. Do that. Actually, no. Okay. Let me move this to items. Oh, shit. Bear with me. Okay. Okay. don't have any art with this, but Tadias, you learn what these things, these chimes, are called. Let me make sure I don't have... okay. Do you want to read it aloud, or shall I?
Is it on the thing? I'm not... Yeah. Oh, there it is. It came up. Huh. Well, then. I'm gonna look over to him. I'm gonna like, kind of rub my hands together and be like, this is peculiar.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you find it?
Well, you know, the really sweet bar owner was digging through the guy's stuff and it was in it. So I picked him up because I felt something strange about
It, if you strike the rods together, it's going to make like a chime and noise, but the effect seems completely random. It's
You let me put a little edit in there just to, because.
but it has properties. It will be potentially damaging. It could be useful. It's just to do so would be careless and potentially entertaining.
Ha! Sounds just like me. Careless and potentially entertaining.
Do you strike them?
I refrain until perhaps enemies are here. There's no reason to do now, I think. But yes.
Hum's face kind of falls.
There's nothing stopping you.
I think you should do it.
You only get to do it twice a day, so I mean, if you want, I kind of push it over to her and I start backing up.
Should I do it?
Do it.
Do it.
When I see her grab for it, I'm gonna make a dash for the door.
I'm just gonna roll a d20.
Yeah. You strike the chimes together just as the bartender starts coming down the stairs, and I can't change his orientation for some reason, but that's okay. 15. Delia, are you right next to Hum?
Yeah, I'm pretty close.
Okay. So suddenly it's quiet. There's no wind. Hum, it's the same thing for you too. It just suddenly there's no wind.
I'm gonna try and say, well, that was anticlimactic.
And you can't hear yourself. And Hum, you see Delia's lips move, but no sound seems to come from her.
What?
And you try to yell, and no sound comes from you either.
I go walk up to Tadias and
as soon as you get to, as soon as you like get a certain ways away, suddenly you hear the wind again, and the ambient noises of wood creaking and whatever noise dead people make.
Were you playing charades with Delia? What was that? Some sort of gnome thing?
I'm going back to that space. I moved back to where.
You go back to it
again,
and it's same effect. It's completely silent.
I'm pretty sure it's just silence. It's the same as when we broke into Orboro.
I move forward and I say, "What?"
Did Delia walk out of the silence?
Yes.
Okay. You ask her to repeat herself.
So
I'm pretty sure it's just silence.
Ooh,
There's a
these
litany.
could come in handy.
There's a litany of effects, hon. You don't know if you're always going to get it being quiet. It might be very loud. So.
Did you notice this place has a nice stage?
I did.
I'm gonna have to, well, it's kind of a stage. It's kind of lifted off the floor, but not really. It looks more like a place to look out the window.
That is definitely a stage to hum.
Yeah.
The world is a stage to hum. We're gonna have to try these out more.
I agree.
I mean, you could try it.
Tuck some in her backpack.
It's been longer than a minute. You could definitely try them again. The silence dissipates after that minute, by the way.
So the worst you can do is make me regret giving you those for a minute at a time. So this is doable.
I think you should come stand next to me today, and I'll try them again. Hum gets an evil grin on her face.
I think that would be unwise.
I think we should do it when he's sleeping.
You know, I love the way you think, Delia.
Right.
I will fly somewhere where you cannot get to, and I will sleep.
You'll miss me.
I would, but I also don't miss hanging chimes above my head while I'm sleeping.
Today, they're gnomes. They'll find a way to get to you.
I kind of like get real low next to Hum, and I whisper in her ear, "Gnomes don't fly, do they?"
I'm not telling.
Come on, we have to clean up these bodies.
Should I do it one more time, Delia?
I think we should wait for when they're not expecting it.
Okay.
Oh my god. Cool. So you guys start to clean up the floor. Is that what's happening? Is everyone just...
Well, I was cleaning it while Hum and what's his name, Keith, were upstairs.
Okay. So you noticed that Illyria was working on cleaning. What was Zachariel doing? Was he doing anything?
I mean, I went into the kitchen and grabbed the barrels.
Ah.
Started jamming bodies.
Okay. So the next 20 minutes, well, next 30 minutes of mopping up the blood, just kind of goes along, and Keith is sort of in. He actually goes to the side, and looks like he's taking inventory, and he says, "It's a lot of booze I'm out of. Damn."
Yeah, but it wouldn't hurt to serve your victors some ale.
Roll persuasion. He says, "Oh, you're right. Hold on." And he pulls out a bottle, and it's got a wide base, and it looks like it's some good stuff. And he puts it on the bar. He gets some flagons. He finds 5 that are not tarnished by whatever smoke was around. And he pours halfway in each flagon, and he says, "This is powerful stuff. Be careful."
I give Tadias a high five. Free drinks.
So it's essentially vodka. And Tadias, you notice that it's strong, but it's not like the best. But it doesn't seem like he had much intent when he pulled it off the shelf. So.
Thank you,
Delia
sir.
down first.
So with everything cleaned up and the bodies in the barrels, what do you guys do?
I look at Keith and say, "Stay out of trouble."
He says, well, boy, I hope so. I really don't want those types of people back here. They didn't drink any ale, they just drank water. They talked about inner peace or some stuff, and then they, I remember seeing one night when I got a good look, they were speaking to this one young man, and I knew him. He used to be a proprietor, or he used to be a customer, and they talked him into joining up with them, and I never saw him again.
Wait, if they only drink water, how are you out of...
He says, how should I know? I haven't left the kitchen for days.
Well, we're here till tomorrow morning, so if any trouble should come, send one of your boys to the Cross Sword.
Noted. Thank you. It's actually a heartfelt thank you this time. Okay. So, what do you guys do with these barrels? And, oh, by the way, you notice when you're stuffing them with the bodies, it's actually a lot easier because they're much more gaunt? Skinny.
Should we bury these barrels next to the other ones?
I don't really know much about these people, so I don't know if it's insulting to bury them in the ground or not.
If it is, you probably would do so.
Well, they're from the Cyclone. They're not from the Divine Mountain. I would say that being buried in dirt would be insulting.
Oh, do you know what they would really dislike? Probably being buried together with the other fools from the water.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yep.
Okay. So, as you set to work on that Zachriel with whoever joins you, the sun's starting to set. It's starting to get dark. Oh my god. And same amount of effort it takes using mold earth to unearth a place for these barrels, and you bury them, and yeah.
But before I leave, I grab that little decanter thing. I go up the stairs and grab that.
Okay.
And
This
just
thing
stuff it
seems...
in my pack.
just so that there's no question later, this seems entirely mundane. You don't sense any magic off of it when you pick it up.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys return to the crosswords?
I'm hungry.
Me too, and exhausted.
Me too, and I need a bath. I smell like dirty farts.
Yeah, unfortunately I taste it, so I know what you mean.
You weren't the one standing in the stinking cloud.
Well, he blew it right into my mouth, so...
I feel like I smell like an old couch.
What kind of couches are you smelling?
An old man's couch.
The kind that has the funky patterns.
Absolutely. And the indentions from somebody sitting there for years on end.
Yeah, she might. Alright. I think I'm going to lose my dinner if I don't get that back. Alright, boom. Are we at the tavern or are we still walking over?
I narrated that you're there, so you're there.
Alright.
We're home!
So Katie is sitting at the bar. She's got a plate of food before her, and she's got a mug of ale or some other alcoholic beverage, and she turns around, and you notice Elena looks to be in higher spirits, and when you enter, you can sense a delicious smelling aroma, and Katie turns around and says, hello! And then, oh my, what is that? Why does it smell so...
Stinky fart couch.
What? It smells so, like, burning meat.
Keith had a lot more trouble. Yeah, Keith had a lot more trouble than we expected.
Oh.
He's okay now, though.
Elena, like, steps over to here, and she looks like she has, well, she just kind of puts her hands on the bar, and she has, like, this look of oh shit on her face, but, she says, oh, well, I'm glad he's safe now.
Perchance you wouldn't have a place for us to get washed up.
I do. I will, I have some, you'll have to, well, I don't have much fresh water, so will diluted seawater be okay? It'll get the smell off.
That's all I need.
So she goes and she, not wheels, but, you know how you would move a barrel if you don't have anything and you can't lift it, you know, with, like, walking it? She does that. She says, here, it's the least I can do. Oof. One of, my old customers swang by, and, he brought in a fresh catch. So, it's fresh fish for dinner.
That sounds wonderful.
I am so hungry.
So,
Well, would you like to eat first, or?
Oh no, I gotta get this
Fast
smell off
first.
me.
Alright, I'll put it upstairs for you, or do you want me to leave, put it in the back room, or whatever you want?
so it's easy enough to get clean. It takes you all, you know, about a half hour to do that, and you, once everyone's done, Elena has set out on one of the tables 5 chairs and plates of freshly cooked salmon. It looks like it's basted in butter. She even has a little bowl. Well, it's not a little bowl, but it's a bowl full of fresh raw fish, and she kind of like gestures to Valora while looking at Illyria. She says, "This is for your feline friend."
Oh, I'm sure she'd love it. Just put it on the ground.
She tears that up.
Yep, she loved it.
So
What do we owe you for this meal?
she puts her hands out and she says, "Oh, it's on the house. I can't thank you enough."
Hum's mouth's full, but she says, "Our pleasure."
She gives a little bow.
I put a couple gold on there saying, well, do you need a tip, though?
Well, thank you. She takes it and puts it under the counter. So is anybody else doing anything?
Nope, Delia's just chowing
What?
down.
When I sit down to eat my food, I take the bottle out of my bag and lay it on the counter and take or on the table and take the stopper.
And Squirt just kind of like tendrils out a little bit and comically looks around. And Elena just says, is that water moving?"
Yes, his name is Squirt.
What is he?
He is a water elf.
She just like her mouth just kind of is agape, and she's just staring at it, and Squirt kind of just like flows out and sort of paying attention to mannerisms of material plane folk, waves at her. And just kind of like flows around a little bit. Goes off of the bar, just kind of, oh yeah, there's a map, so I'll totally get a thing for it. Hold on. But you know, she's just sort of staring at it. Katie's also sort of staring at it, and she says, Did you show this to Katie before? Did you show Squirt to Katie before?
I don't think so.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So, the water elemental, the medium-sized water elemental, just kind of like flows around a little bit, and Katie also has her mouth open. She says, "You have a water elemental as a pet."
Oh no, he's not my pet. He's my friend.
Okay.
Elemental has feelings too, you know. It's a sentient conscience being. He's actually quite the conversationalist, if you can speak the language.
I
The
never.
sea fire is hot.
And like, just Squirt just kind of like bubbles a little bit, and you can kind of detect that it's a bit of a chuckle. And Katie, sorry, go ahead.
Finishing her meal, pulls out her lute and begins to just play a little catchy,
Okay, roll a performance check,
just instrumental.
and you can take 10 if for some reason you roll low. Yeah. Wow, you have a plus 10 to performance. Wow. It is just natural. Just this lovely tune just sort of fills the bar. What kind of timbre is it? Is it relaxed? Is it upbeat?
Yeah, it's just a little bubbly tune.
Okay.
Something just to pick up people's spirits.
Yeah.
And to give something for Squirt to do a little dance too.
He does a little bit, yeah. He he waves, kind of undulates to the beat that you're putting forward.
Is Epper in here as well?
Yes, he is.
I'm severely fucked up, so like I'm like bleeding, and there's probably like dried blood and stuff.
Yes. So he's there. And you know, he sees you guys come in stinking. Darn. He definitely rushed up to you and was like, What happened? You look fucked up, even more so.
Fart cloud.
What?
Aggressive fart cloud, yes.
Like his mouth is just like open and like, what?
Very edgy youth.
Wait, a kid did this to you?
I don't know how old he was. I couldn't really see him. He was constantly shifting.
Dangerous ash.
Oh, you all run into the most amazing shit. And he just kind of plops down in his seat. He says, he just kind of mumbles to himself. And then just kind of like looks at Zachriel and just awe.
I want to fight cool things.
Pretty much, he's like, I mean, you know, if you were to get close enough to him, you'd be like, man, maybe I should just be a fucking adventurer. Like, Way Shields isn't really bringing me that much action. But, you know, he doesn't really say that aloud. He doesn't seem to be, like, intending to put that into action since he does have a contract. So, the night sort of drags on. It gets to be late. Does anybody engage in any of their conversations? Do anything?
I'm mostly good. I'm ready to head out tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
after 2 takedowns, yeah, I think I'm headed to bed.
Alright. So, rooms are paid for. It is a simple and restful night. Yeah. So I'm going to change the music And I'm going to do the thing. Alright. So the morning comes. And you're all well rested. Go ahead and give yourselves a long rest.
Oh, thanks. There.
It's early in the morning, however. Katie is knocking on doors, and she's getting up her colleagues, and she's saying, "Up and at 'em, we don't want to burn too much daylight."
It's too early.
She knocks harder. "We need to get going soon. Come on. Please," she adds, and then moves on to the next door.
Because I'm a morning person, I think Illyria would already be downstairs asking for breakfast.
Alright. So, breakfast is just a bowl of hot oats. With a little bit of butter and a small sprinkle of sugar.
You cut out there.
Breakfast is hot oats.
Okay.
Just a bowl of hot oats. Nothing special.
Be back 1 second.
Okay. So, she puts a bowl of it in front of you, and she says, "I don't really have anything suitable for, well, actually, does your, I want to say cat, but I know that's not correct entirely.
Panther.
Does your panther want food? I mean, I have these oats, but it seemed, I know cats eat meat."
Well, her name is Valora, and she takes leftovers. Do you have anything from last night?
I'll go check. She goes in the back, and a minute later she comes back with, looks like she went through a bucket of chum, and she has, fish, that hasn't been completely, taken off of the bone. A couple of them, and she sets them down in front of Valora, who just nods at him happily.
Thank you. How much do I owe you?
Don't worry about it. The next time you come through here, I'll charge standard stuff, but for now, don't worry about it.
Yeah, flip her a gold coin. There's your tip.
Hum throws a couple coins on the counter too.
Make sure you guys count this, by the way, just saying. Okay. So, yeah, she takes them graciously. There's a little bit of commotion as people are coming down the stairs, her colleagues, everyone's getting set up.
Alright, Squirt, time to get back in the bottle. Come on.
Squirt in Aquan says, where are we going next?
We're going to a bog, I say in Aquan, out loud.
And to anyone who doesn't know Primordial, this just sounds like water splashing around. Squirt says, "Oh, I wonder if I can swim in it." And
I guess we'll have to find out.
just goes into the bottle.
Does Tadias understand any of this?
No.
Make an intelligence check.
Alright.
Have you guys been trying to do the language thing?
It's been off and on,
Okay.
hardcore.
Make an intelligence check. I'll just set the DC high. You recognize one word. You recognize swim, but that's about it.
I recognize what?
Swim.
You're going swimming in that Zachariah?
No, Squirt wants to try to swim in the bog.
Oh, Squirt wants. God, that makes more sense.
Ah, but you picked up a word. Good.
I got one word. Perfect, yes. So now I know how to swim in the Sea of Fire.
So, you hear a horse from the stable next to the inn. And Katie comes down, and she's all packed up and ready to go, and everybody starts to just set up. You hear just the sound of things being put in a cart. Elena, once again, she looks very, I'm not sure what expression to call it, but she's clearly still very thankful, and she says, I don't know what else to say. I appreciate it.
Farewell, Elenia. We'll see you again.
See you. Thank you. As you guys...
Should we check on Keith before we leave?
I would like to say this at the... You know what? Screw Keith. He's an asshole.
I thought it was just a dick.
I mean, he gave us a drink.
He did.
Yes, and he was so thrilled to do so.
I mean, to be fair, he was kept hostage.
He's
I'm
a
not
dick.
sure if any of us would be in the right mindset after that.
Look, I just try to be honest, and he's a dick.
So, Zachariah, when you're being honest, you seem not to be in front of the people. What do you say honestly about me when I'm not?
Would you like me to go to his shop and call him a dick?
It'd be entertaining, probably, but no.
Alright, well, let's go see him.
Do you just walk... Does Zachariel just walk out the door?
Yeah,
As you start walking there, Katie sees you, and she says, if just be back in 10 minutes, okay?
We're just making sure that the other bar is still safe.
Alright. So, you make your way to the Groaning Stone, and you get there, and you see that you open the door, and first thing you hear is Keith's voice. Bar's closed.
just wanted to come by and say that you're a dick.
What? What?
We came by to make sure you were still safe.
No, mostly for the dick part. I wanted to see that.
And he's just flabbergasted. He's just stammering.
Somebody risked their lives to help defend you and your home and everything you own, and you act like a dick. So, you're a dick. Have a good day.
And, like, you turn and, like, he starts to say, like, get out of my, and then you're just gone.
Hum peeks her head back in the bar and says, "Sorry, Keith, bye," and slams the door and runs.
There's just a shot of Keith, like, with his hands on the bar, just looking forward. And it just kind of cuts back to you guys. You guys make your way back to the crossed swords, and
I was having a hard time walking because she's laughing so hard.
amazing.
Well, today is you call him a dick.
Fair is fair.
There's no money going on with that, so it's just straight up word, proving your word.
And Tadias, if you would like to know what I say about you behind your back, well, I told my wife that I consider you to be a very good friend. I also made a bacon joke, and I apologize for that. But
You make those to my face as well. It's perfectly fine.
That was so touching.
it's been a couple of days.
It's been a couple of weeks since I've been baking. Well, days as well.
No, it's been at least a 10-day since you've been baking. Yeah. So, when you set out of Mortrath, the sky is gray. The ground is firm beneath your feet, and the wheels of the wagon. But a light, misty drizzle descends on you as you begin to travel over the plains.
Hum has looped her arm into Delia's and they're walking together, and she's telling the story of Zachariel going in and calling Keith a dick. Because she's very highly
Sounds like a
entertained by
very
that.
Zachriel thing to do.
It's funny. You should seen his face.
Delia's gonna whisper into Hum's ear that maybe now is the time to test out the chimes again.
You think?
Maybe a little further away from the other half of our party, but
So, plants her feet and holds Delia's arm and lets the party go a little bit further up.
Making sure there's distance between you and the wagon with Katie and her archaeologist.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Colleagues. Okay.
And she pulls out the chimes. You ready?
That's funny. So you ring the chimes. I'm gonna need a sound effect for this, but ding, and it's a really sweet note. Like very sweet note. And you kind of you and so in like a short moment, you feel like you want to you feel like you you feel like you have some sort of innate something that is in addition to the powers you possess for healing. You feel like you have a flash of it just sort of in your mental grasp, and you feel like you can pick up to 5 creatures of your choice that can hear the chime, which is everybody, because it's a pretty loud note. By the way,
So
this is an important
everybody
question.
just kind of gets a boost.
Yeah, everyone just kind of feels like a little bit more healthy. So I'm going to put that in the handout. By the way, this item, you can attune to it. Do you try to attune to it?
See.
Okay. Hum gets the chimes. Interesting. So here is what 20 does. And I really want you to roll low.
And why would you perchance want that to happen?
I don't know.
Because something fun's gonna happen.
Define fun.
Like,
It's
deck
gonna
of bad
hurt.
thing.
Alright.
Hum goes flying.
You don't know. You could try again in a minute.
We better catch up, Delia.
yeah, maybe.
So we all heard the chime, but we don't see the magical effect, right?
You don't see the magical effect, but I'm assuming that Hum chooses her party members.
Yeah.
So everyone feels like in the next like for about a minute they feel like if they attempt to do something they'll have a distinct advantage at doing it.
But I just kind of give her a look as she's coming back to the wagon.
She just gives a wide grin. Wide toothy grin. It's never good to put two gnomes together.
Suddenly I
That's
feel
right,
really
it's
good about
great.
myself.
So the day. Anything else?
Nope.
So the day drags on, and walking and horse dragging cart, and starts to get a little darker as the sky, or as the sun starts to set in the west. When you get to here, Katie looks around, and she says, she kind of tends to the horse, and she says, "All right, we're breaking for camp. We're gonna camp out here for the night." And when you look around, there's no cover anywhere. You're in the middle of a grassy field.
I guess it's a tiny hut night again.
Indeed. Edburn walks up to Zachariel and says, so we're doing the same watch we did the other night?
Yeah, you know, the one good thing about being out in the open is it's not very defendable, but it also makes it easier to spot things sneaking.
Yeah, it does. He kind of like halves his greatsword.
I halved my shovel.
Alright. So, night falls, and,
If you're talking, you're not
Nope.
saying anything.
not talking. I am now, though. Night falls, and it's very dark because it's still cloudy. It blocks out all moonlight. So even those of you with dark vision looking out, you definitely don't see anything beyond your 60-foot range. And on the second watch, who's on the second watch?
I'll take it.
Is anyone else with Delia on the second watch?
I am.
Well, how long are the watches?
That's up for you guys to decide.
I mean, with this many people, if we're doing like 2 people per watch, it'd be like 3-hour chunks.
I think that's what you did last time, yeah. Or... and then Illyria also has her,
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll do my 4-hour trance and then it'll be up.
usually it's like 4 shifts for 2 hours. So,
Yeah, I thought we were doing it like for next she would transfer it away, and then I don't know what to remember.
Yeah, pretty much I trans and then I'm up.
yeah. So, I just want you guys to decide who's on second watch. So, Delia and who else? Is Illyria awake by then? Is she still trancing?
So the first one is 2 hours, so 3.
Second one is 2 hours, so you're either trancing now or you're going to trance in the later half of the night.
No, for the first part, I'm trancing. For the second half, I'll be up.
Gotcha. Okay, so who's with Delia?
I am.
Okay. Hum and Delia. You hear, you start to hear these sort of growls and whimpers from outside of your dark vision. You start to hear, from far off, in the distance.
I'm gonna throw
Sounds
a
like
rock at
it knows.
Zachariel.
You're gonna throw a rock at what?
At Zachariel and wake him up.
Zachariel, you're awoken by a rock.
Zach, it sounds like Knowles.
I pick up that rock and I throw it at Tobias.
Tobias, you're awake.
Wait, on the deck, what happened?
We're being attacked by no.
Are they within range to throw
A
rocks?
monkey. I can't decide.
That's Mike's bad impression of a hyena, but that you can hear the very distinct sound of gnolls. Or at least you think they're gnolls. You've had a lot more exposure to gnolls than hyenas in this time. But you don't see them. You can only hear them.
Hey, Hepburn.
What's up? We fighting?
Yes.
He jumps up.
Don't run. Stay with us.
Shit, I can't see anything.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Does anybody have light?
Yeah, got you. Hepburn, come here.
Sure. He walks over.
Poke him in his chest, and his armor starts glowing.
Oh, nice. I can see now. I don't see anything. And then the hyenas start to laugh again, and then he's just immediately in a battle stance. He's got his great sword lofted and ready to throw down. He says, "Where are they?" And then you hear it again, but it's like clearly coming from the opposite direction.
Oh fuck! I think we're surrounded.
Then you hear like intermittent laughs, and they come from like all directions. And also, make perception checks, because you're obviously listening to this. Wow. All right.
What a waste of a crit.
Yeah, a little, maybe. I mean, so Delia and Tadias, actually Zachriel, you can't really tell. This is to figure out how many there are. You can't really tell. It's sort of just coming from all directions for you. Zachriel, you can tell that there's at least 6 creatures. Delia and Tadias, you both can tell from the distinct sort of... actually, Delia can tell, because she's experienced gnolls before. So, Delia, you hear 2 gnolls, and then 4 other creatures that aren't gnolls. Tadias, you know that they're 4 hyenas.
There's at least 6 of them out there.
Make sure that the archaeologist is safe.
The hut will keep them safe, right, Delia?
Yes, but I won't be able to leave the hut or cast any spells through it.
Alright. If things start getting bad, then you'll need to break the hut. But until then,
Right.
Stay with the hut.
just think about Renwick.
What do you do?
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna sit back down and be like, okay.
So this sort of goes on for the next 10 minutes, and then coming into your dark vision, anyone with 60 feet, you can see the vague shape of a quadrupedal creature enter your dark vision, and then sort of advance another 20 feet, and then just run back into the darkness.
Whoa. It turns and runs?
Yeah. And then you hear it laughing again. Oh, sorry. Were you going to do something?
Yeah, I'm going to throw a javelin at it.
All right. Main attack roll. It's going to be... yeah, you can see it. So, hold on. I need to make sure. So 60...
for the range.
60, 20... So he's 40 feet away. Does that give you disadvantage?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So he turns tail, and then you react. Where's that up? A Hydra? No. It hits, and roll damage.
Well, you know what? You know what I was going for, right?
I don't. Oh, I see. Well, roll damage. You kill it. It just doesn't move anymore.
Oh boy. I got it.
And you hear laughing from the other side, the clear other side, and you look and you see another one enter the range of your dark vision, and it starts to advance. Does anyone do anything?
Turns around and she's going to shoot with her.
Okay, go ahead and shoot.
But it's going to be at disadvantage too, right?
What's the range?
30.
Oh, then it starts to advance, and it's gonna start. It starts running. So, do you wait for it to like get within range for you to shoot?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and take the shot.
I'll hold mine as well when it gets.
That's a hit.
to me.
She's also going to throw psychic blades at it.
Well, roll damage first. You kill it.
Oh, okay.
They're hyenas. They are weak. So you nip this one like in the chest and it just keels over. And you sort of the laughing kind of like thins out a little bit, and then you can see
not so funny now.
You can see Tadias and everyone else looking. You can see a gnoll enter the range of your dark vision, and they see the dead hyena just completely down, and it like looks toward you, and it advances a little bit further. But once it gets within 40 feet, it realizes the mistake it's made and turns around. Does anybody do anything?
Yeah, let's just chuck a dagger at that bad boy. Disadvantage?
Yep. Range. So at 40 feet, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of whimpers out as the dagger strikes the ground and then zooms back to you. You guys, the rest of you can roll attacks too. Like, we're in quasi initiative right now.
Alright, I guess I'll throw another one.
Think that's a hit? Hang on.
14.
Yeah. And you roll damage. So, you get him in the back, and he just kind of like runs out from your vision, limping. Hum, you hit 2. So both of your attacks strike at this guy, and he just is limping away. And about a minute passes. You hear one more hyena laugh, and then after that is silence.
Alright, I'm
Good
gonna
job,
take like
guys.
the 15 minutes to walk to either side and grab my javelins.
Okay. When you walk up there, you don't see any other. You don't see or hear anything else.
I am gonna drag the hyena back with me though.
Okay. Were you asking something, Delia?
No, I was just telling them good job.
Edburn is just like, what happened? You threw some stuff.
Well, killed a hyena, and I think we seriously injured a gnoll.
He just like looks at his greatsword, just kind of like lets it drop, tip on the ground.
I take 2 javelins off my back and hand them to him. So you should probably have more than one weapon.
He like looks down his belt, and you see like he has a couple of daggers, and he says, "Oh, I do, but something with yeah, thanks." And he takes them and he equips them.
You know, you've got those strong muscles for swinging around a greatsword. I don't think a dagger is your style. You need a javelin, something you can throw and kill Manticore with one.
Yeah, you're right. I ran out, and I never really got around to getting more. He smiles
Yeah,
weakly.
At one point I had about 15, and then I gave them all to villagers. Never saw them again.
They stole them?
No, I gave them.
Oh, okay. So,
Gentlemen, you should go back to bed.
Delia, you do notice like there are some of the archaeologists just like looking fearful. And just like, oh shit. But after Hum is like, go back to bed, everyone's just kind of like, shit. Sighs relief, and everyone tries to bed down and get a few more winks of shut-eye. The rest of the night passes without incident, and Illyria, you wake up. Do you guys tell Illyria that story since she was trancing?
Of course we do. We talk about what happened last night.
Okay.
We warn her when she takes shift that we had killed a couple hyenas, and we thought there was about 6 of them altogether. 6. It looked like it was a mixture of hyenas, and keep an eye out for.
You're cutting out.
Oh, I said keep an eye out for us.
Nick, are you there?
Yeah, when it's
Okay.
yeah, I was gonna say when it was my shift, I keep an eye out.
Yeah. And you don't hear anything. The rest of the night is still dark and cloudy, but it is without further incident, and the morning comes. And you guys pack up, have a little bit of breakfast, and make your way further to.
Before we head out,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just try and, I guess, basically salvage the hyena, just to get like ration meat.
Okay. Make a survival check. You get another. Man, that's a good roll. I'm gonna say you get 5 days worth of rations from that creature.
Yeah.
Anybody interested in spicy hyena?
It's kind of gamey. You have to like let them dry out through the whole day, though. But yeah, you would get enough for 4 rations. I didn't mean to interrupt your roleplay. I was just saying how long it would take to cure.
No. Sorry.
How does he set up the meat to cure? Is that what he's doing? Is he making jerky?
Well, I mean, we're traveling, right? So,
Yeah.
unless there's like room in the cart where I could lay it out in the sun, it'll just be.
Hang it off
That'll
the
be-
sides.
It's not too hard to do that. There are like lips to the wagon, so you could like put them on the edge of the wall.
Yeah, I'll do that.
As you guys progress, the clouds clear up and the sun shines through and gives you some of that drying power, and day kind of wanes on as you proceed west toward the sky-pierced peaks where they meet the barren bog. And when you get within about a mile of it, you can smell this really strange but very permeating odor. And you hear Katie say, "All right, if now's the time to chow down on that stinky fish." And it's getting late in the day. The sun is starting to sink behind the mountains, which, by the way, rise up before you. I'm not sure any of you have actually been around here, but the Sky-Pierced Peaks, well, maybe Tadias, they're named that because the mountains are very, very thin and very, very tall. They sort of just jut up from the ground, and they look like they are just pointing into the sky, thus the name. So, do you guys chow down on that stinky fish?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's not pleasant. It's pretty ugh. It's edible, but it's barely palatable. So you guys get there, and when you arrive at the site, it's starting to get dark. especially because the sun is behind the mountains. And you can see the mud sort of against the mountainside and the plains. You can see it sort of churning, and you see like it slightly bubbles in an area where it meets the mountainside, and it is it's just sort of like whirling around. And when Katie and her colleagues sat down, the horse is just very, very not pleased with its current predicament, but it just sort of complains. It doesn't really try to leave. They set up a tent, and they start to just set up what Tadius recognizes as an archaeological dig site, about 10 feet away from the mud.
Is it just me, or is that ground churn?
Pretty gross.
And Katie overhears this, and she says, "Oh, that's the barren bog, or this part that meets up with the mountainside. During this time of year, it has there's some effect underneath. It's too dangerous to really dig into it, but it sort of churns against the mountainside. Something with how the mountains are formed, and that's why we're here, because sometimes these artifacts surface right around here. So that's what we're hoping for."
Well, why do you say it's too dangerous to go into?
Well, do you know what? Have you ever heard of something called quicksand?
Yes.
Similar to that, at least in this particular area. It's easy to sink into. So, we'll start, essentially what we're doing is camping out and seeing if anything surfaced for the next couple of days. Probably a 10-day at least. We have enough rations for it. And, yeah, Edburn can take care of us here, I think. Tomorrow you can head back to Forstride if you like.
Well, we don't like leaving you, but there's things we have to take care of, and I kind of look at Illyria.
Why not?
So, the night comes. Night comes. Do you guys have a similar watch as the other night?
Seems
Sure.
like the same watch would be good.
Okay.
I'll put up a tiny hut again.
Alright. So, who has first watch?
I think that's me and Edburn.
Alright, Zachriel and Edburn. Zachriel, roll me a perception check as is nearing the end of your shift, and the sky is starry above you, where you can see the sky because of the mountains, so like half of the sky. The mountains give off a dim, glowing appearance, and you're looking out to the fields, you're looking up to the mountains, and just through the mountains sort of hold the light of the day and seem to faintly glow at night. At least that's what you think as you look at them, and your attention is drawn to something high up against the backdrop of the mountains, but you kind of squint your eyes and you can't really see. Like, something drew your attention, but you aren't sure what it is. And we are going to have to figure out what that is next week.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. So, thank you for playing tonight, and if Joy's watching, thank you, Joy.
Thank you, Joy.
Love you, Joy.
New Year. Same.
Happy New Year! Woohoo! Here's to more adventuring in 2019. Goodbye!
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.